are a few of my favourite things.
If you ask most English people what their top winter comfort foods are, soup will definitely be amongst them, particularly tomato soup, probably based on the fact that a lot of us grew up with adverts like these from Heinz cream of tomato soup, which are basically designed to make us crave the stuff every year, particularly in winter. But for me, the perfect nostalgic comfort food is one that combines this cream of tomato soup with pasta, sausages and cheese, one that I still make today and is basically a grown-up version of, well, again, Heinz sausages and spaghetti. Well, I say grown-up, but actually I've been eating it all my life from kid to adult, and it is the best comfort food that I know of. So this is how you make it. First, we make the vegan version of cream of tomato soup. Now, if you want to speed things up and you already have a favourite, then you could use a vegan cream of tomato soup that's already out there, but it is really easy and super cheap to make your own. All you need is passata, to which we'll add a few extra seasonings and ingredients to make it taste good, and some plant-based milk, or if you really want to make it very creamy, you can use plant-based cream, but it works just as well with the plant-based milk, so it doesn't matter either way. So, to your 500-gram carton of tomato passata, you can add 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a tablespoon of tomato puree, 1 tablespoon of sugar. You may want to add a bit more to this depending on how sweet you want your tomato soup to be, 1 to 2 teaspoons of mixed herbs and 1 teaspoon of paprika, plus 1/4 cup of plant-based milk or cream. You can also add about a teaspoon of garlic to this if you really want to. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't, doesn't really matter. The best thing to do is just to play with all the seasonings until it comes to a taste that you like, particularly the sugar. Some people like their tomato soup to be a bit more tart and some like it a bit more sweet, so just add a bit more sugar as you go along depending on how you prefer it. And then just stir it all together. And if you just want cream of tomato soup, well, this is it. You can warm it up in a microwave or you can warm it up on the hob and have it as cream of tomato soup with your bread, your croutons, however you prefer to have your tomato soup. But we're going to keep adding more to it to make it an even better meal than that. Once you've finished stirring it all together, leave it on the side and we'll move on to the next ingredients. So you're going to want some sausages for this, ideally cocktail sausages, but they're not always easy to come by in the plant-based range. So if you can't find cocktail sausages, then just use normal sized sausages and chop them in half or even in thirds, depending on how many pieces of sausage you'd like in your final meal. You then want to halve and slice a medium to large white onion. This is not essential, but I can't imagine this meal without onion in it. So you can either fry the onions in a frying pan, or if you want to save on washing up, you can pop them in the oven with the sausages and just a sprinkle of olive oil on them, or any oil you like, and then they'll cook at the same time as the sausages. And whilst they're in the oven, make up enough spaghetti for about 4 people on the hob. And once the spaghetti, the sausages and onion are all cooked, you basically want to mix everything together, stirring it well into the tomato sauce so that every item is completely covered by the tomato sauce, because it's then going to go into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, preferably with a lid on or some foil to cover it, or at about 180 degrees centigrade. And then when that is done, you will be ready to dish up. This is absolutely perfect as it is, or with a little cashew cheese sprinkled on top, but it's much better with some really thick grated cheese and a lot of garlic bread on the side, in my opinion. So this is one of my absolute favourite meals from childhood, and I continue to make it today because it's just the perfect combination. The mix of tomato, cheese, onion, sausage, pasta, and a bit of garlic bread on the side, it is the ultimate in comfort food. You can use any kind of dry pasta, but personally as a purist I prefer spaghetti, and you can get a really cheap passata, it makes no difference at all. The important thing is to make sure that the sausages are relatively firm, particularly when they're cooked, so that they don't fall apart during the extra cooking time. And that extra cooking time is not 100% essential. You could just put it in to warm it up and make sure that the tomato soup is warm, but it does really help to thicken that soup, and it just makes everything taste that much more wonderful at the end.